Hello football fans! Today we're going to be talking about the safest football helmets, and yeah, let's hop into it. So first things first, when you fit a football helmet, you want it above an inch above the eyebrows. So how that is you can see my eyebrows are here, and the edge of the helmet starts right here. And going on from that, most helmets do have an air up system. There are not a lot that don't. There are some helmets that do not. But how the air up system works is once you get the inch down from your eyebrow, you're gonna air it up and adjust how loose it is or how tight it is. And it's personal preference. But when you do get a football helmet fit, it's best that you don't do it yourself and that you go to a professional like an athletic trainer, a coach, or a doctor. Which brings us into our next point. What are the effects of CTE? Well, some effects of CTE include loss of memory and cognition, poor impulse control, depression, suicidal ideations, and it also leads to other diseases such as Parkinson's and eventually dementia. So that leads us into the different types of helmets. Well, what are the different types of helmets that people wear, So this is a Schutt F7, the brand being Schutt, kind of see right here, it says Schutt, that's the brand of the helmet, the F7 being the model. Schutt makes multiple different types of helmets, whether that be the Schutt Air XP, whether that be the Schutt Vengeance, just all sorts of different types of helmets. This is a Schutt F7. Other brands include Rydell. Rydell makes the Rydell Speed, the Rydell Axiom, and the Rydell Speed Flex. And then you also have the new Light brand. They're up and coming. They make some helmets, they're really good, but overall their whole system inside of the helmet is much like a Zenith. Zenith makes a bunch of helmets too, and their helmets have a strap that connects almost like around the chin strap, and you pull on the straps and it tightens the chin strap. It's not like the Rydell Speed Flex's locking system, but it overall impacts the overall fit of the helmet on how tight you pull the straps. That leads us into some other brands like Vicus and just Vicus. And how that helmet works, that's the only brand that I believe does not have a air up system. Like you can see this hole right here, that's how you air up this helmet. Vicus doesn't have that. Instead, how it absorbs contact is it has these I want to say plates, but it's not really a plate, but kind of like a soft spot right here on each side of the helmet. And those have little tiny foldable cubes in them. And how that works, when you get hit, it helps reduce the impact by flattening the cubes and overall just making the impact less powerful. How this helmet works, the Schutt F7, it has these things along the top. You can see here. These are called tectonic plates. And how that works is for rotational impact. So when your head's on a swivel and you're moving and moving and moving, because this helmet is mainly for skill position guys. So if you're running around and you're moving your head constantly and you're getting hit, what this does is these helmets have it absorbs it, and you'll see they'll move kind of. So if you get hit here, the helmet or the tectonic plate will move like this kind of, and and vice versa. All it does is help absorb contact. The Rydell Speed Flex and the diamond on the front of it, and it has a flex plate system. Same thing with the Rydell Axiom. How that works, when you get hit, you can literally press down on it, and you'll see you can dip the diamond on the front of the helmet in, and that's how it absorbs contact. If you hit someone head on, it'll dip inside, inside a little pocket inside the helmet, and it will just reduce overall impact. The Zenith, it has tiny dots inside of the helmet, and how that works, when you get hit, it has a dot inside the helmet, and that's where your head will hit, and it has just a tiny bunch of tiny little dots in it, about that big. Same thing with the Light brand, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You can't, in like the older helmets such as the Schutt Air XP and stuff like that, their systems are like really outdated. They rely so heavily on the air up systems, so that's why you don't really see a bunch of guys using them anymore. There are a select few guys that still like the helmets because the older helmets do happen to be lighter, which also plays into overall fitting of the helmet and why you would want to pick a helmet. This helmet, it probably weighs about 4¼ pounds, really. The Rydell Speed Flex, like a little bit heavier than this, but like once you get into the older helmets, overall it's just lighter. They're lighter because there's not as much to them. Which leads us into our next subject. What do the pros wear? Well, much like high school and college players, the pros wear what their personal preference is. Like me, I wore my Schutt F7. You know, Patrick Mahomes, he wears a Vicus 01 or a Vicus 02. He bounces back and forth. George Kittle, he wears a Vicus 02 trench. Micah Parsons, he used to wear a Rydell Speed Flex. Now he wears a Rydell Axiom. Nick Chubb, he used to wear an older model of Zenith until he swapped into the Schutt F7. Travis Kelce, he used to wear a Schutt Air XP, now he wears a Schutt F7. You know, so just like I said earlier, it's whatever you think is the most comfortable. That is the key point in pretty much the whole football helmet game, you know? Whatever is the most comfortable to you. Whichever helmet you think you're going to get the least amount of concussions in. Because either way, whether you have the safest helmet or not, you're still going to get concussions, you know? When I used to practice, there were countless games that I would walk off the field dizzy. But that doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It's whatever you think is the most comfortable helmet to help prevent that from happening. It is going to happen. But it's the same thing on all three levels of play, you know? So how are football helmets tested to ensure that they can be the safest football helmet that they can possibly be? Well, football helmets are dropped from a certain height, from here, at a random spot. So they'll hit the ground at a random spot, whether that be anywhere on here. And that's one of the tests. And scientists, when they do drop something on it, they have certain sections of the helmet that are labeled off so you know exactly which part of the helmet it's landing on. Another test that is often done is they'll basically take this giant arm that comes in and it will hit any, like, or the spot they want to hit on the helmet. It's like a 1/2 inch solid rubber, call it a mallet that comes in like this and it hits it. And it will be on like a mannequin head, so it'll be sitting like this. And depending on how much the helmet moves or how well whatever like spot of the helmet does or takes the impact, that's how it gets the score. Typically the lower score of the helmet is better. So what is the safest football helmet overall? Well, the safest football helmet overall is the Vicus 02 Trench. The Vicus 02 Trench is a Vicus 02 just with this massive trench on the front of the helmet. It literally goes right here. But what is the lightest football helmet? Because I know some people out there who just want something light, you know, because they don't have the size to carry a helmet that weighs 5 pounds, you know. The lightest football helmet is the Schutt Vengeance line, whether that be a Z10, whether that be a Vengeance Pro. So how do helmet accessories, like different face masks and visors, affect the overall safety of the helmet? Well, the NFL banned custom face masks. Custom meaning all big and bulky and like overall the cage style face mask that comes up to like here and goes down to there. They banned that because it actually puts the helmet off balance. If you can see, when I put this helmet down, it wants to rock back. But because the custom face mask weighs so much, it throws off the overall balance of the helmet on one's head and can ultimately affect how you take impacts on the field. Visors, it's the same type of thing, you know? The NFL actually banned dark visors in game, not because they don't want their players to look cool, but if a player is concussed on the floor, they won't be able to see their eyes and have to add a second step to figure out if the player is okay or not by taking off his helmet, which can ultimately cause even more issues. So that's why clear visors are allowed and no visor is allowed. But it can't have any sort of colors and it can't be dark. Huge thanks to Ms. Huth for assigning me this project. I really enjoyed it. Thank you to all my friends who I can talk about this stuff to, whether they really care about it or not, I don't know. But thank everyone for watching, and yeah, until next time, bye.